Sure.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Trade and Connectivity Challenge 2021 virtual briefing session with Lumens Auto. My name is Billy Law, representing Agorize and Enterprise Singapore as your moderator of this session. Today, it is our pleasure to have Mr. Chiam Sung Chen, Chief Operation Officer of Lumens Auto, to walk us through the ins and outs of the Chinese statement awaiting for your solution. The rundown for today's session is fairly straightforward. So we'll start off with Chiam presenting his Chinese statement, which is a solution that can be plugged into the existing onboard device port of hybrid vehicles fleet and allows constant hybrid vehicle battery monitoring and diagnostics without removing batteries. And then we'll just wrap up with a Q&A session. So if you have any questions during the presentation, please feel free to submit your questions on the Q&A panel on this Zoom webinar. Please note that this session will be recorded and then uploaded onto the challenge platform at tradeandconnectivity.innovation-challenge.sg for future viewing. So now, without further ado, over to you, Jian. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Billy. Good morning, everyone. My name is Chiam. I'm the COO of Lumens Auto Private Limited. I'll be doing the briefing for this morning. So if you have any question, feel free to drop myself or put your question in the chat so that I can answer them later in the session. So I think the next slide is my contact email. Billy, next slide, please. My contact email is there. Feel free to drop me an email after this session if you have any other questions. So if not, I'll go into the briefing proper. Billy, next slide, please. So just a quick background on Lumens Auto. So this is actually the second year that we are participating in the TCC. We actually put up a problem statement last year, and I think it was quite well received. We actually have the chance to meet up with quite a few startups, and we are still also working with some of the startups on last year problem statement. But this year we have came out with a new one, a new challenge statement that Billy have just given up the statement earlier during the briefing. So Lumens Auto is currently one of the largest fleet operators in Singapore. We started in September 2014, and at that point of time, Uber just came in, and we grew from a 4-vehicle fleet to one of the largest currently in Singapore. We started off with the private hire vehicles. That means those that drive for the platforms such as Grab, Uber, and we have actually since moved on during the pandemic to become a fleet that covers the entire value chain of vehicle ownership in Singapore. Okay, so our current business now include private hire vehicle, corporate and personal leasing, as well as financing, and some other auxiliary services such as insurance as well, and claims, accidents. To summarize, we are actually pretty young in the sense that we are just 7 compared to some of the largest players, which has more than maybe 20 years of experience in the car trade itself. So we are aiming to be one of the largest asset-heavy company with a startup mindset. This means that we want to hold asset, but we do things in a startup manner. Because of what we want to achieve, we are always on the lookout for technologies to improve efficiency of our fleet and fleet management system. Okay, as Billy mentioned earlier, the challenge statement for this year is we are looking for a solution that can be plugged into the OBD part of our hybrid fleet to allow us to monitor the vehicle, the battery condition, without removing the batteries from the vehicles. Okay, Billy, next slide, please. Okay, so more detail on the requirement. There's a push to go green by the government recently over the last 2 years. There's a lot of incentive given by the government to the fleet operator to go green in terms of EVs and to reduce the ICE vehicle population in Singapore. We have actually managed to refit our entire fleet from ICE to hybrid vehicles currently. So our fleet is made up of actually more than 97, it's about 98 to 99 hybrid vehicles now. Pretty young fleet. Most of the vehicles are actually less than 3 years old. So they're actually in pretty good shape now because they are relatively new. But we have actually seen some vehicles where the mileage, that means the mileage per tank, per full tank of fuel actually went down quite a bit. And we did some diagnostic, some trial, and some of this is actually partly due to the battery condition in the vehicle. So we went around looking for solution, and there's actually existing solution available in the market right now, but this require the removal of the battery to run the diagnostic. And this is not very cost efficient because our fleet is still mainly used for private hires vehicle purpose. So the driver needs the vehicle to be on the road, and we cannot afford too much downtime. Existing solution require us to remove the battery from the car itself, run a plug-in into a diagnostic tool using crocodile clips, and plug into a system to run the diagnostic. This takes about 1 to 2 days currently. So we are looking for a software-based solution that can be plugged into the existing OBD of our vehicle, so that we can monitor the battery condition when when the car comes in for servicing. Our fleet is mainly made up of Toyota hybrids. Model include the Prius Plus, the Noah. There's some Honda and some Hyundai as well. But we want the solution to be scalable to all models, not limited to hybrid electric vehicles as well, because we believe that there's demand for such product when the EV market get bigger in the future. So the solution should provide our end user, which is the mechanic, with a simple diagnostic of the current status of the hybrid battery, so that we see, without removing a battery, we are able to see whether we need to remove the battery to recon the battery. So with reconditioning of the battery, we are able to save on the cost, and without a removal, we are able to save time. So this will enable our vehicle to be on the road more than removal of the battery itself. So as I mentioned earlier, there's actually existing solution that's available right now. So we will evaluate this solution based against the current existing solution, which require the removal. This means that Lumens will provide a vehicle to the startup or to the participant selected with a Toyota vehicle. So the participant or startup can use this vehicle to build their solution. So once the solution is built, we will have the reading from the solution itself. So with the reading, we will take out the battery from this vehicle, and we will use the existing solution to run a test to do a comparison to gauge the accuracy of the solution. It's a simple, just a test, a build and test. We're not looking at anything complicated at this point of time. Okay, Billy, next one. So the solution is to be just software based, as we do not want to remove the battery, as what I mentioned earlier. And we would ideally, the solution can run on a portable device such as a touchpad, a smartphone, or laptop. And as mentioned earlier, we will start off with a Toyota make, and hopefully the solution can be scaled up to include all makes and models of the hybrids and EVs in the future. For the fleet itself, we will provide one, but if this solution is scalable, we will provide the other model as and when the startup is ready to scale up, because we have a pretty diverse fleet from different manufacturers in the world. Okay, lastly, some Q&A. I think because based on last year experience, we actually have a lot of solution provider that came to us, and they are actually providing solution based on telematics. We do not actually find that telematics is a good solution for our our current challenge statement, because it does not actually, the telematics does not actually tap on the battery itself. It actually uses to gauge the battery status. So we are more interested in a solution that is based on telematics at this point of time. But as I mentioned earlier, we actually participated in the TCC last year as well, and we have actually a startup that came to us with a different approach to a problem statement. So obviously, if let's say a startup have a solution that is not what I presented, we are more than happy to explore further. Yeah, because from last year experience, we actually met up with some startup that we work with on other issue that we face, other than a problem statement that we issue for the challenge last year. So other than that, we are open to anything. So feel free to ask me anything that you need. With that, I think that's all I have. Billy, back to you.
Okay, thanks so much, Nian. So now it's time for Q&A. So if the attendees have any questions, again, you can submit them on the Q&A panel. So now is the time for you to do so. Give a couple of seconds so you can digest a little bit of the content. Sounds like the presentation was very clear. Does anybody have any questions? This is the time for you to ask and get your answers immediately. Okay. All right, in that case, Chiam, do you have any anything else to add or
I'm good. I mean, there's no question. I'm just looking forward to meeting the startup then.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Okay, all right. So again, thank you very much, everyone, for especially Chiam for your presentation. And I hope our attendees today, this session gave you some new insights and better clarity of the challenge that Lumens is facing. And we're looking forward to seeing your submissions by December 30th. And yeah, thank you all for joining us today. We look forward to seeing you very soon. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you all. Thanks, Billy.
Thank you. Have a great rest of the day. Bye-bye.
Bye.